The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everybody, welcome to the weekly Noyantis Usergroup meeting. Today is Monday the 3rd of June 2019. Myself and John are here, although John's leaving early today. As always, if you've got any queries or questions, ideas or suggestions, then feel free to raise your hand. We'll get the microphones opened and we'll cover the content accordingly. So just looking if we've got any questions, and looks like we've got questions already. That's brilliant. So we will cover those in a couple of minutes. Quick update on the state of not state of the templates, but work that is currently being done and in progress. Okay, so last week we mentioned that we were going to release an update to the docking panes. And that's not gone out, but that's only because if I just open up the example application, just 1 second. Now, as you're probably aware, on the regular with all of our classes, any of the classes have derived methods that you can put the embed code into. So, for example, here we can see the docking pane, virtual methods, and you've got a whole host of embed points where you can put code. But on the window manager class, the content manager, I should say, the content management class, which goes on to each of your windows and controls if it can be used as a piece of docking content or not, you don't get any embed points. And basically, I've been asked a couple of times, and then myself in a particular project this week, I needed. So what I mean by this is just let me get that compiling. I needed some embed points around that actual generated class and the method calls of that class. So, for example, here we can see we've got two panes which are opened and two different pieces of content, different Clarion windows as they are, but there could be other things as well. I needed embed points, basically letting me know that this window had opened, but I needed it in that particular procedure, and currently there are none. So you will have in here the normal docking pane window manager, window content class with all the derived methods that are applicable to that particular class. So it's gone from what should have been a small change to quite a large one, but it will work out a lot better for you. So you will be able to place code. If we looked in here for the generated code, i.e. this, we will have derived methods here, and wherever these things are called, especially so you can see here the window init, but especially the open window. Trying to find the best one here. That's the main culprit where you can't put any code after that particular opening, and basically we're going to give you embed points around that as well. So you'll be able to hypothetically open a child window like so, have that window open, then get an embed point. So basically that handle can be passed back to the docking pane content manager, but then you can do some code after it. So it won't delay the window opening. It won't delay the actual piece of content being put into the docking pane. And then you could do some kind of reset on the window, populate your list control or your report control or a chart if it's a chart. So the idea is to make it a lot faster and a lot more flowing if you have a number of child windows in play. And the particular example I was working on had 3 child windows, and we needed basically to get them windows opened as fast as possible, and then after they're opened and they're docked, then we wanted to reset their content. So I know John, I know John's leaving, but if John, if you're still here, that might be of interest for yourself for one of your dashboard solutions. So Looks like you might.
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you there? So yeah, that new the new embed points might come in handy for yourself there. Definitely won't do any harm. It'll just give you more flexibility.
Excellent.
So yeah, but there was, like I say, in the example I had, imagine this window with 3 child panes, child window panes, and there was a delay while the content was being found on each of those panes, and I didn't want that delay. I wanted the empty panes. Well, I wanted the panes to be presented to the user, and I could put something default on the window while they were being initialized, if you will, and then at that point I needed the hook point for the embed to say, okay, now let's go and get the actual content for that. So reset a report control, as it was in my case. In yours, you could chart the data, that kind of thing, but there's no delay. It makes it seem and flow so much faster.
Cool.
So yeah, so what we could have got a release out last week, but it was only the enhancement we did a couple of weeks ago. But instead, the class is literally on my sorry, the template is on the my other monitor here. That will go out tomorrow/Wednesday. Won't necessarily, maybe going to testing tomorrow with a release this week. And the same can be said for the report control. The report control will get a release this week with some of the new facilities, what's in there. Not sure we'll get it fully table loading. Still beta testing that and finding a few funnies, and it's got to do some extra some checks and so on. But one of the things I have found in using it in the report control, using it for the new table source, is the example where you might want to put some data straight from a TPS table or a SQL table, it doesn't really matter, but straight from a dictionary table into the report control. And you might have a column which is, let's say, a date column, perfect example. Visually, you want that date to be the 3rd of June, followed by the 4th of June, 5th of June. But of course, clarion dates would be 70 odd thousand and whatever they are, so on and so forth. Well, in that scenario, you would want to set the value of the cell to the clarion date, but the caption of the cell to the visual clarion, the visual date, the readable date, if you will. So there's going to be some enhancements going in to let you set related clarion pictures to the column definitions. They will automatically be picked up if you're using the new table source, the source of table, if you will. But basically what that will do is allow you to set a related clarion picture for a cell. And if you were to then go and set the value of a cell, which you can do by priming up a group and so on and so forth, all the internals that you do now, if it finds a related clarion picture where the data should be formatted differently, then what it will do is it will automatically calculate and call the caption for you at the same time. So the best of both worlds, really. You'll be able to start specifying just straightforward clarion columns, as I'm doing in some of my examples, and basically get them formatted as per your dictionary, if you will. So that's a nice enhancement. So that will again come out this week. And work is progressing on the G security as we speak. So that's really it for the updates. So it's been a busy time for the templates. We will get something out this week to you for updates. Realistically, it's going to be docking panes and report control. Okay, so questions. First question we have is Stan. So Stan there, the microphone. Let's open up.
I'm here.
You there?
I'm here.
You are. So you got an issue. Oh yes, and that's another update which will come out, of course. I forgot to completely mention, because there is a fix pending for the QuickBooks part of the Chillcat wrapper. So of course that will come out. It should have really come out now. I'm just waiting some base class enhancements to be collated, which more or less done, and me building it, if you want the truth. So yes, you will get an update. It should have been today, but you'll definitely get an update in the next couple of days. Okay, so your question, sorry.
All right, what I want to see is in Clarion, in the global extension,
Mm-hmm.
How are you setting up the ActiveX control to be added into the program? I don't know if I've got it set wrong, because it looks like I'm including it, but then when
well, I mean, I can show
it
you in
compiles,
this example.
it doesn't.
I can show you in this example. So let's just have that folder open here. Now, do you want me to? I can do it on the Chillcat one if you like. It's same the same content regardless of docking pane, report control,
that's fine.
Chillcat, any of them. It's the same steps. So, what version of Clarion are you using?
6.3.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you can't use Reg3Com. That's good to know. Oh, that can just go. 1 second. Typical. Wendy's literally just left for the day and they're going. Sorry, can I? I'll just pause the webinar. Just one second. Hi Stan, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Apologies for that. Typical. I've been waiting for a phone call for about 4 or 5 days now, and it comes through just as we're doing this. That's ain't that always the case, but never mind. So yes, so Clarion 6.3. Okay, so you that's fine, but we won't be able to use Reg3Com. So that's just going to be slightly different. So what you would want in the global extension is use one of your predefined versions. Okay, so we will go to the Chillcat. Again, it'll be the same again, but I just want you to we'll go to the actual Chillcat one anyway. So into here, use a predefined. I think there's only one on there actually, but still use it. Make sure the hotfix does match the version that you are using. If you're unsure about that, if you go to the actual OCX, we'll just do it here so we can see which one we're using. Go to the particular where the file is so we can see there. Go into the detail and it will report there, 0.72. Okay, so ensure you've got the right one. You can see there that I've got a copied other version in 0.76, but we're not using that. On this one, say now, depending on how you want to distribute your application, you could use some kind of installer, something like Setup Builder. Very good example. You could use Setup Builder. In that case, you would probably say do not register. Or if you wanted your application to attempt the registration, then you can choose register within Windows. Okay.
Okay, so if you choose do not register, what is the consequence of that?
Okay, so what will happen? I mean, you might as well, to be fair, you might as well choose register within Windows. The only thing you can't do in Clarion 6.3 is use reg3com, because Soft Velocity didn't add it until add support, sorry, until 9.1. So even though it's been around since XP, it just wasn't there. But what will happen is the template will and the class will attempt to initialize the control and basically just get what you call an object, making sure that it can talk to it. So it will attempt to initialize the control, and if it fails, then it will just come back and report an error. Now, if you say do not register, it won't report any error because you're taking charge of it yourself, if you will. If you say register within Windows, then what it will do is it will attempt to initialize. It doesn't get it finds it's not registered on the system. It will then attempt to register it subject to access rights, and if it's successful, it carries on. And all of this we're talking milliseconds. So it really is seamless. Now it will attempt to register. If it's successful, it carries on as normal. If it's unsuccessful, it will report back whatever the error message here is that you say. Okay. Now, I normally, as I say, put actually now I use reg3com, but back prior to that, I would probably have the installer do it, something like Setup Builder. It makes it just easier, if truth be told. So, but if you want your application to attempt it, like I say, your application will need to be run with access rights, to sufficient access rights, I should say, in order to be able to register. But yes, basically, I would go with this one. But I'd have a combination. I'd have the installer do it, and I'd use this as well, just in case they copy it from machine to machine, that kind of thing. The other thing you want to do is ensure that you've got your license code entered onto the global template. Now you will need that.
I have that in there.
Okay, good. Ramifications of not having that in there, from a Chillcat point of view, it will either attempt to run it in trial mode, and if that trial's expired, it will tell you so. If it's not expired, if it's not expired, it'll just run. That'll be great. For CodeJock point of view, it won't initialize the control because there's no license, unless the .lic file is in the same location as the OCX. Now, of course, that's no good for you distributing your application, because the last thing you would do is distribute your private license details. So you might find, and a lot of people used to find this all the time, was the system's working on their development machine, they then distribute the application and it doesn't work, but they don't understand why. And it's because on their development machine, they've installed CodeJock, and I know we're saying CodeJock, but similar can be, for a lot of OCXs, so it's good knowledge to have. On your development machine, you've installed them to program files XYZ. The OCXs are there, they're registered there, and the licenses are there to go with them. So of course they work. Then you come to distribute your application, you send out your EXE, you send out the OCX with it, and it doesn't work. Even though it can attempt to register and possibly register, or your installer does the registration, and it's because the license hasn't been compiled in. So it is always ensure that even in development mode, the minute you've got your details off us, or CodeJock or Chillcat or and so on, just go in and put that in, and it's a one-off task, and it's then done. So that's it. you don't, from a 6.3 point of view, you don't have to worry
So
about the manifest.
In the 10, the problem of using the reg-free would solve my issue.
If you can in Clarion 10 in the reg-free COM, it's by far the better option.
Yeah, I have 10. I just am not as proficient.
Right.
I'm still stumbling around. And all of this code was written, all the QuickBooks code was written in 6.3 originally.
Right.
So I found I moved a little faster and was able to fix my problems a little faster still.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I haven't moved over.
It's the main not stumbling block, the difference from a distribution point of view between the 6 and the 10 would be definitely the reg-free COM. And reg-free COM is by far the easiest distribution because you distribute the app, your EXE and your DLLs if it's multi-DLL, but you distribute your app, you distribute your OCX, and if you're using reg-free COM, the app manifest, which will have been changed by the template, and the related control manifest, which would be Chillcat or command bars or calendar and so on and so forth. But you would distribute those, and then Windows, as long as it's XP onwards, can utilize reg-free COM, and it really doesn't matter the level of user being logged in. You could even be a guest user running off a pen drive, which JP used to do with the DMC application. Whereas if you're going to go down the register route, then you're going to need to be some kind of authenticated user who can register controls. And that's where the installer is much better, because installers are usually ran with UAC compliancy and so on and so forth.
Okay. That makes sense.
So, and that's true of any of them. So anybody watching the video back and so on, that's true of all of our controls and ActiveX in general, to be fair.
All right. Well, I was hitting an error and I couldn't understand exactly what I was supposed to do and where my error might be.
Well, as I said, the license.
This will give me a couple of ideas moving forward and a way to fix it.
Regular type errors used to be the likes of not compiling license coding. With that, we've been asked that numerous times. Control not being registered, that would be another. And with reg-free COM, the one which seems to not raise its head, but people can forget to ship part of the setup. So they might send the application, EXE and the DLLs and the manifest, and then they might ship the OCX, but they forget to send the extra manifest for the OCX. So you've got one pointing to the other, but the other's missing, and then you'll get what you call an SXS, which is a side-by-side error. When you come to initialize, you'll get a side-by-side error, which is purely to do with reg-free COM. But they're not as frequent. I mean, when I say frequent, I'm talking about support call tools. Once you've got those distributed, there are no errors, they just run.
Okay. All right. Well, I got everything fixed except for this, and I figured that you'd be able to answer it faster and I could look it up.
No problem. Well, you know where we are.
I try to understand the jargon, so
okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so now we've got it's Roberto, but it's also Alejandro. So I think it's both of you. Let's get the microphones opened.
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing?
Hello.
Okay.
Good. Hi, Alejandro. How are you doing?
Very well. How are you?
Yes, fine, thank you.
That's good.
Now, I know you've got a question, but you've also done some. I meant to mention this at the start. Is it to do with the calendars and the scheme framework?
No. Actually, no.
Almost. You got one of them right.
Okay, well, you do yours, but do remind me to mention the status of that, because you've raised that as a question, and somebody else has also, not as a question, sorry, as a potential issue with the latest Kojak and somebody else has. So after your questions and so on, I will just quickly give an update on that as well.
Okay. Can I show you my screen?
Yes, of course. Let me just. Where are you? Okay, you should get a prompt saying to share your window. Are you there?
Yes. Can you see my screen?
Oh, just, yes, there is
Yes.
a little delay.
Okay.
He's in Argentina. See, that's on the other hemisphere.
I want a trip
Yeah.
down there sometime. I definitely do.
Okay. Look, I have here, if you see, a calendar with
Yes.
a date picker
Mm-hmm.
using a docking pane. Okay.
Okay.
So if I click there, it's hide. Can you see the behavior?
Yep.
Okay. If I close it,
It becomes
open
really
it
small. Something to do with the resizing.
I already know of this.
okay, but this is not actually the first problem.
But well, there is a
No.
workaround for that. It's a really, really, really ugly workaround, but it works.
Okay. And we have the same problem with the syntax editor.
Syntax editor.
If you
Yeah. They're the two that have the issue.
Okay. Look, and here I have a docking with many control,
Okay.
and I call this procedure calendar. This here is a individual procedure, a single procedure, and I call inside of this one. Okay, but I have this behavior that I can see the. If you see here, it's not resizing well, and look, this happened again.
Okay. Well, ignore that about the little going down to a very small square. Okay, I can give you a workaround for that. It's what I consider an ugly hack, but it does work.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it crashes sometimes when you does that.
Yes, and let me show you one thing more.
Well, I don't get
One more
the.
thing.
Sorry, so I know that the. Can you just? What's the point on the last one? We know about the going down to a little square, but what was the question on that second one? So you had a calendar on the right, lots of options on the left.
¿Qué me dijo Roberto? Sorry.
Pues que ¿cuál era el problema? Aparte de que se hizo el cuadrito.
Que cuando lo abre, fíjate que no abre completo, no lo abre.
Oh, when he opens it up also, it doesn't open complete. So it's not resizing correctly.
Yeah, it's not taken. It's all to do with how the handle's being applied. If you click on click next to the timeline mode, or click the timeline mode, right, and then resize.
Que cambias un poquito. No,
No, not that. Resize the pane.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So it's
not
all related.
Updating.
Yeah, that's all related.
Yes.
Pues que
But
tiene un fix.
another thing more is, look something. I have this app. Let me show you.
So it's using Keepsoft's Resize and Split.
No, but this is not the thing.
I wouldn't use that with a window which is exclusively controlled by the docking pane, because you're going to have two conflicting sets of controls trying to take charge.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't. It's pointless, because if the docking pane manager, the docking pane control.
Yeah, he disabled it, and it still takes it for some reason. I don't know.
Right.
You haven't looked at the code in the template and checked that it's disabled.
Yes.
Usually it just looks at the template and it writes the code anyways.
Yes, I have to omit this your part of your code. You see
There.
because it's generating a.
Yeah.
Still
So even
generating.
though it's
Okay, yeah, I see where you're
disabled,
going.
it's still running that code. So you need to add some code in there to
The only thing I've
look
got to
at that
check.
variable.
Yeah, the only thing I've got to check there is, it's going to be the same. All of the templates make themselves aware of, can detect compatibility for Windows, Clarion's resize, Mike Hanson's resize, and Capesoft, both, the easy
Right.
resize and so on.
Right.
But if I start interrogating certain, mind you, no, I suppose it's. I was going to say, if I start interrogating template options of those, then I am ultimately I'm starting to filter myself to which ones I support, just in case an older version didn't have that option. But I can work around that. I can work around that.
Okay.
So let me make a note of that. That's a fair point. Where can I put that? I'll put it on here. Just 1 second.
Yes. Sorry.
Check for third party resize disabled.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's no problem.
I mean, it's just a symbol to check.
Yeah, because you have to ultimately the template works out the template instance of the related. It checks for existence. So is Mike Hanson's resize present? If it is, what template instance, so that I can get to its template prompts, because you can have multiple instances of others as well. Likewise, Clarion, likewise Capesoft. So it's a matter of I'm already doing all the work, so it's just a matter of checking, does that variable or the prompt exist, and if it does, then I can use it. Okay, yep.
Okay, look, the other thing is when I open this procedure, I selected here closer, but this procedure is opening. Let me disable this. Let me show you. Yes, it's okay.
I think I know where you're going here.
Okay, when I click here, it's open, but this pane I selected close, but it's open. It open. Can you see the behavior?
And that's without the save and restore.
Sorry?
And there's no save and restore overriding that.
The save restore?
The the docking pane, the save and restore is not it's not active at the moment.
No. It's not activate. So this is by the default. All this calendar must be appear like this, closed, because I selected this. But it open always. And look, let me see something, because I disabled the save restore, and the calendar doesn't disappear. No, yes, still back. So let me show you again here. Pane. Sorry. Here, calendar. If you see here, it's closed.
Okay, can I look at the options for that?
Yes.
What are the options for the others? Just show me the options for the other panes. Are they opened or sorry, closed or hidden?
Sorry?
No, for
What do you
one of
want?
the other panes.
Yes. Here?
Yeah, emails then.
Yes. It's
Visible closed and the options. The template shouldn't make it. There's no hand code forcing that to be open, is there? See the template. That is Oh, can you just go back to the docking pane, please?
sorry.
And go to
Yes.
the pane and to the calendar. And what's the content? Yeah, clarion procedure. That makes no sense because it's being treated the same as all the other windows.
Mhm.
I've never seen that before. I mean, you're doing the exact setup which we do in in our apps, and we do in the training and so on. And you're doing the same as the other panes as well. Is there any embedded code affecting that pane, that particular pane ID?
No. Let me show you. I omit this one. Here in action, I add in the state in a queue, just this. This is for when it's active the save restore. Here. And when it's accepted, I check only the ID of the pane, okay, and just execute load the report control, okay. This
Well,
does.
Just hang on. Where have you got? You're jumping really fast.
Sorry.
Okay. Let's have a look at what have you omitted out?
Los lugares donde omitiste el código.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
There?
Yeah. Why are you omitting that?
Because I have disabled the easy
that's
resize.
fine. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at the other. Yeah, that's fine. Yep. Okay. Let's search for that that particular pane, the calendar, the pane ID calendar.
I wonder if it has anything to do with the init resize, the parent one. Maybe you should omit that too, or not.
No, be fine.
There, in the create.
Yeah, so we got that. And there's a true on that. What's the parameter? Just hover over the add pane so I can see what the parameters are.
Sobre add pane. Ponle el cursor sobre add pane para que vea cuáles son los parámetros. Yeah. Invisible. And opened.
Sorry. I will put
2, 3, 4, 5. Docking direction. Okay. That's fine. Yep. Okay, and let's have a
The
look.
only one that's opening is Contactos, right?
Yeah.
Up above.
Yes. Yes. It's
Okay.
fine.
So search again. Yeah, set that. Okay, yeah, scroll a little, please. Yep.
Again?
That's okay, yep. Search. Yep, and yep, go past that. Okay. That's fine. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And again, search.
Le busques otra vez.
Yes, but I think that is the end. Just the both. Create panes and start child. No more.
Okay, can you just okay, save that.
Y guardes.
Sorry? Okay.
Yep, and go to the extensions. Oh, it's okay. I remember you didn't have. I don't know. Is there truth there? Because the other panes aren't using browse windows or Clarion windows, but that's irrelevant. Even the example application has, the. Well, let's try this in the example. Okay, let's. I'll just go back to me as presenter. 1 second.
Okay.
I'm working on the docking example before, so we can just take a quick look.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to quickly modify this one to replicate yours. Is that okay?
Yes.
Bothered about that. Oh. Oh, not that one. Okay, got two. I set those to closed by default, and we'll also have the settings very similar to yours. So you have yours closed,
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay. Also have that one closed. Oh, sorry, wrong one.
So it kind of keeps one open all the time, huh? At least.
Just try the hidden. We'll see if that property is being set. There is no save and restore on this, is there? I don't think there is, but let's just check. No.
No.
Got the class at the side of me. Now, just doing some changes, but I've got the class. So
Hace lo mismo, ¿no?
Mm-hmm.
this is slightly different from your class, but that's fine. Start closed. Okay. Let me just take that out the not that. This one.
And it puts it okay on you. Whenever I do that, it always sends it all the way up to the top of the source.
Oh no, I
I
can't.
can't ever get it to
I
put
couldn't
it
work
on
it.
there.
I couldn't work it if it was
Yeah.
like that.
Oh
Hello.
man, it's like I wish that worked all the time.
Okay, so I think it's in there. Okay, just let me take one look on there. Layout underscore was restored. Just 1 second. Bring that back in here. Let's have a look at create panes. That's just a place, that's fine. Nope, wrong one. That's the old legacy. Yeah, okay, so we're looking at that. Nope, not that one, that one. I think it's all three of those. Okay, just 1 second then. I think something's changed here. Let me just. You know, we still put this code in there, but you don't need to do that at all. It's really for demonstration purposes. Oh, I was right. The pane ID. Ah, actually.
You forgot a percentage, didn't you?
No, it's
Percentage
okay. I'm
value.
just thinking. One of the settings. Where are we?
Boom.
Okay. Initial floating. Just want to make sure it's the right parameter. That's all. So yeah, we can do that. Yeah, initial floating docked and visible and opened. Move that out of the way. Okay, let's try that. Oh, what have I missed out?
You missed the point.
Oh, I've left full stops on because of an if. Or period, as you would say. Okay, let's just try that now. Cannot call procedures. Take it with. Can't do that. That's good if it is. Didn't like that particular code anyway. Bring that in here so you can see what I'm looking for, just to check. Visible and closed. You can tell these are really old parameters. Right, that's fine. So what it should do is put them into one particular position, setting, if you will, prior to the save and restore. Oh, that's crazy. Why are they still being opened?
The thing is, when you call a
Oh,
external
no, it's
procedure,
okay. It's I've done it outside of the for. Sorry there. Sorry about that. Serves me right for developing live.
yes.
Now that makes no sense because they should be set So this might go a little deeper. Let's take a look, make sure that the settings are there. Pane image. Can't be floated. It's not floating, but it's not opened and it's not visible. Yet it was. Pane browse. Okay, that's going to take a bit more looking at them. Okay, let me take a look at that. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Leave that for myself.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Let me know anything, please.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, I'll just think about it. I can just go like so. I'm working on it. You can see it. I'm literally working on it right up to today. So yeah, I will as soon as the fix is there. I'll make sure it's in the next build.
Okay, perfect. One question. I don't hear very well, but did you see something about the drag and drop over the report control?
Yes. Yep. That feature is going in this week because a particular application I'm working on. In fact, it's going in tomorrow because the application I'm working on requires it. So that will be in tomorrow.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you, Andy.
I got asked for that last week, about Wednesday last week, and then on Friday, or I think Friday or Saturday, you asked, could we do drag and drop? In this case of yes, because I've just been asked for some application work. So yes, so that's going in.
Okay. Sorry. Do you want I show you the error into the calendar?
Oh,
with
yes, please.
reminder?
Well,
Okay.
yeah. By all means, let's have a look.
Okay. Share my screen, please.
Yep.
Again. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes,
It's
Okay.
stained.
it is.
It is.
There is the error.
Okay.
Okay. And let me pass to this screen. Okay. If I go here, extension, reminders. If I disable it, okay. So if I close it now, I don't have this error.
Okay.
This
Now,
message.
have you just got that with the latest code jock, or did you have that before?
No, I have the last one.
Okay.
18.6.
I think I understand. And it's just on the close down. I have. I hope I have an idea for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's to do with the initial the order of clothing. So I think I can correct that.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. So this was just a lucky to find, I think, the error that is in the reminder.
Oh, sorry,
okay.
say again.
That was, I think, a lucky find the error, because it was not even in the same place, but yes, in this application.
I understand.
Always there.
Yeah. No, I think it's because another window is actively open, and it's just the destruction and the kill process. Does need to check the order.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, we've got about 20 minutes, and I know Michael. Now, Michael said when we're ready, the calendar update for the round of time. Let me just put it back to my screen. Michael. Hi, Michael.
Hello, Andy.
Hi.
Hello. How
Yes.
are you?
Yes, fine, thank you. Sorry, yes.
Fine.
You asking when will the calendar update be available?
Just for the round problem.
Yes, for the time rounding. That's okay. If you send me an email tomorrow afternoon, I'll get an update out tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, thank you. And I send you my app.
You did. I've not had a chance to look with some
yes.
with application.
Okay.
But I will do. But I have received it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. The other option, which is going in, I forgot to mention to people, but it might be helpful in the calendar release, the next build. There are new methods where it will automatically calculate the iCal file or ICS, depending on which one you want to call it. So, for example, if in your calendar you wanted an appointment at 2 o'clock next Friday, then what you could do is automatically generate an iCal file for that appointment with all the subject and the timings and the time differences and so on, and then the class will create the file for you. Then you can attach that as an email or an SMS and send it to the recipient. Now we're not going to do the sending for you, although obviously the logical place there would be to use the Chillcat and so on and so forth, one of the libraries there, but it will generate the file for you. It takes the file name and path as a parameter, and and the event, and it generates a recognized iCal format file for you automatically. So that's a nice little enhancement to come into the calendar template. So you'll have that tomorrow, Michael.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so last but not least, Bijan. Hi, Bijan, are you there?
Oh, hi Andy, how are you?
Yes, good. Yourself?
Good, thank you. Hi guys. Hi everyone. Yeah, so I was playing around with the Dropbox file sharing, and I prefer to just have one account and just use it for like file storage for all of my customers. And so what I was looking for as a way to using Chillcat is to upload the file and get the URL for the sharing. And so is that easy to do, or is that something? Is there a feature in Chillcat that will give you the option for getting the URL back?
I would have to have a look. I mean, the Dropbox class, our wrapper class, that is, so the task class, to give it its correct name, does need a little more work on that. So I'm happy to actually get that done as part of the next update, which is some work going into it this week. So I don't really particularly see a problem just let me have a quick look. What it would actually be is, let's have a look at the Dropbox API, because we've got some of the stuff wrapped, but you could do some more. Let's have a look at the V2. So we just want to really just
something called get file.
Well, we already have methods in there for getting a list of files. We'll do it in the same manner as the task classes. So like the Google events, you've got download events and download event singular, where you get all the detail of that. So we'll do it in a similar fashion. But likewise, what we also do, let's say for the Google event, but it's the same for the QuickBooks and so on, you can say upload an event, you prime up a group, you upload it, it does the Google event or the QuickBooks invoice or the QuickBooks whatever, the customer, you prime up the group, it uploads it, and then any answers it gets back, i.e. the internal ID that's been created, or let's say for Google event, the URL to get to that event and so on. Any extra information which is passed back from Google on a successful upload is automatically injected into the group that you passed in the first place. So we'll just do it in the same fashion. So we'll have upload file, you pass us a group structure of what you want to go and upload, and we'll return you back the answers of it. And one of that, if I remember rightly, one of the things is the URL to it. So we'll just do it in the same fashion.
Yes, I think I found that API call. Let me see if I have it here.
If you've got it to hand, that'd be good. I can take a quick look.
Yeah, let me paste it. Just GitHub. I think it's right here. I'll go ahead and paste it into the link. There's, if you can, see that link in the GoToMeeting. Yeah.
Oh, in the GoToMeeting, sorry.
Yeah, I pasted it there.
Just got it. Let's have a look.
It's called Create Shared Link.
Okay. Do you know what? I'm just going to put that. Oh. Tell you what, I'm going to put it on here for now, and I'm going to put it in a chat to myself afterwards. In fact, can you send me an email? I know we just discussed it here, but if you send me an email with that link as well, then I'll take it from there, and that'll prompt me to put that as part of the task class. So the Dropbox class can get a bit of love in the next update at the same time.
Will do, yeah, because I researched a little bit, and it seems like Dropbox gives you a lot more features, and I was chatting with Dries, and it sounds like the Dropbox is the way to go. But yeah, the idea is
if you create a link
for storage,
a file or a folder in Dropbox, then really anybody who's got the link has got access to talk to it. The security is slightly different on the link than it is from a share.
I see.
So just bear that in mind. I was creating I know this. I had to back some user data up for somebody the other day and send it to a third party with their permission, of course, and I got it all in writing. So I had their permission to do it. I was doing it for them, but I went to create a normal folder and add them as a user of that folder. And that's fine. But one of the things I was doing to start with was to create a link to the folder instead. And Dropbox gives you a warning saying that's fine, but anybody who's got the link, regardless of who's allowed to see the folder, anybody who's got the link, because you created a link, will have access to it. So the security is a little different on a link than it is from sharing a folder or a file for that matter.
Yes, no, I understand that. For this particular application, it will be fine because only the people that we inside our app, we can control which people will have access to that URL. So they won't even have access to that URL inside our app. If they do, then yes, they can get it.
Right. That's
Or
okay.
even the naming of that file. You can always name the file, something,
Oh yeah, I mean, from a technical point
weird
of view, it'll be the same. So from the API, I'll just give you a nice, easy method to call, and it will do it as long as it works, so on and so forth. I would just mainly from a business point of view, making you aware that the security is slightly different. That's all.
Yes, I understand. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, these are mostly like itineraries, and we don't want to have to store it on our own server.
Oh no,
Let
you can use theirs.
Dropbox handle it. Yeah,
Definitely.
It saves a lot of time for the backup program. We don't have to back up those files, and just create a URL and be done with it. Just give them the URL, and everybody who has access to them get it.
Yeah, I used to do the practice software, and one of the customers had, imagine if you will, they were dental practices, but they had, I think it was 23 or 25 dental practices. So from a head office point of view, they wanted one central place, and it was to do with the daily figures, the money for each day, for like cashing up, if you will. Now, we could write a whole integrated application to transmit this and transmit and so on and so forth, but it was easier to use Google Docs. So we just called the API of Google Docs and one central spreadsheet, and each practice had an individual number, and they would just go and put their daily figures into it would calculate it in the software, but then just put it straight into a Google spreadsheet in one cell. So you're just using Google, just like you're planning on using Google, Dropbox. So it's much better and much easier, and it meant that the managers at head office didn't need to be in the application. They could just have the Google Docs on their phone and see all the facts and figures from all the 25 sites.
So you saved it on a cell for the determined site, and you just did a get for that one cell.
Yeah.
For all the sites that you had. That's genius. It's like.
So you're just using the power of, like you plan on using the power of Dropbox for a nice central repository for yours. So, but you just make
you just pay one account and then let everybody use it.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it worked.
Actually, we have that situation right now. I spent a lot of time with one of our customers in Florida, and they have a Google Sheets that they don't want to give up. They call it their dispatch sheet, and they don't want to use ours. And they keep telling me, is there a way for a driver to be able to, update this sheet, without us having to copy and paste each day? I said, well, you don't really need to do that. We have the same grid, but they refuse to use our grid. They want to use Google Sheets. And so maybe this is a good solution, is to be able to update their sheet and just basically let them keep what they have, because they have all these different color coding that they like to have in there, and they have designed it in such a way that they don't want to change their dispatching.
That's right.
We might have to do that same thing with the Google Sheet API.
Okay. Well, I can't even remember how old it is. Let me take a look on here. Under Clarion 10, access radio libsource, and no longer required. Yeah, now it's not that date, I can assure you. But yeah, before the Chilcat wrapper became the Chilcat wrapper, it started out live a long time ago. It's got to be 8-9 years ago, but it started out live as Google basically. The cell, there you go. Cell batch update content, and it would work out and talk to it at a atom level. So it would do an atom feed and talk to individual cells. But this has got all the code, so I need to put this into the Chilcat class. But this was the actual pre-runner to the Chilcat class. But this has got all things in there to basically. Let's just have a look. There's your workbooks, your worksheets, your cells, and there used to be stuff like download. Where was it? find cells, find your spreadsheets, find your worksheets, and yeah, you could basically bring it down at an atom, what you call an atom level, so you really would just get individual cells information and you can manipulate them. So yeah, so a lot of the work's done.
Wow, that's nice. Because you know it's hard when somebody is used to something, you know, they're used to a certain tool. A lot of people are using Google Sheets and Docs now, so and even Google Calendar, and we have a new customer that refuses to use it again our calendar. He wants everything in Google Calendar, and I tell him that with like 50 resources, it's very difficult to see, but he still likes the Google Calendar. You know, wants to.
Well, don't forget, before the DevCon this year, you've got the Chillcat wrapper, haven't you? Yeah, of course I remember.
Yeah.
Before the DevCon this year, there will be another calendar update coming out. It won't be the release this week, before anybody asks. But before the DevCon this year, there will be a calendar update coming out where you can tick to say, yes, I am using the Chillcat wrapper, and it will synchronize. All the synchronizing will be done for you via the template, the calendar class, the calendar template, and the Chillcat template. So they will be made aware of each other. If you won't require them, you'll still be able to use the calendar completely on its own. You'll still be able to use Chillcat completely on its own. But if you wanted the two to talk to each other, it will literally be a case of, yes, I am using my Chillcat, tick, and there it is. There'll be a couple of extra prompts which will be needed to do with the login details of each schedule, if you will, because it'll be multi-schedule compatible. But that's all you'll have to do. And
that's for syncing to Google.
Yeah, it'll do it for you automatically. So it's just you'll recompile your calendar app now, but just give it some login details per schedule.
Well, I'm glad you told us, because that way I don't have to create my own syncing.
No, this is already done. I can't demonstrate it because it's in a customer's application and so on. But yeah, no, that is going to be part of the calendar class built in automatically.
Andy?
Yeah, because I remember you were saying something about.
I was going to do a plugin.
You weren't going to put that in there.
Yeah, I was going to do a plugin and so on, but no. You're loyal. You all
changed
loyal
your mind. Huh?
Yeah, you're all loyal customers, and I'm all about integratability and making the product really work for you. So what can be easier than ticking a box and it doing it for you? So, of course, you will require the Chillcat wrapper.
That's fine.
That will be a requirement. I can't do much about that because I need Chillcat to do the comms for me. But that's all you will do the require. So there'll be a lot more integratability between a lot of the products. That's the way all of the future builds are going.
Cool, thank you.
Ale had a question.
We're getting close to time, but go on, yes. I think the microphone. Oh yeah, microphone's still open. Yep.
Can I show you my screen 1 minute more?
No.
Thank you.
Okay, yes, you should have it.
Yes. Let me show you something. I did something for your class, but because I needed to do it, let me show you. Did you remember that I say to you that I can change the user in the G Suite using Google Calendar?
Yes. Ooh,
okay, I did this.
Yes.
I add a virtual procedure, okay?
Okay.
And this one, after the set, after the init here, I add a set credential, and I call this from I derive, of course, this procedure, okay? And what I do is, set credential. I change the Google Calendar ID and the Google user, and it worked fine for me, of course. And I would like to know if there are some possibility in the next update if you can add something similar to this. Because if no, I have to change again your class to change the Google Calendar ID and Google user. Do you understand what I mean?
I do. Yes. Okay. Let me take.
So it's too easy. It's,
Yeah. No.
just this line.
I could make that a property, and then you could build on top of the property.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. I could. Is it not already a property? Just let me look.
No.
Is that credentials?
The credential is a virtual procedure to drive, and I use the properties, but I use in this point.
Oh, just 1 second. I've lost your screen. I'm just going on to edit my screen. Just 1 second.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Calendars. You're using calendars events. Okay. Calendars primary. Calendars users, me, calendar list. Okay. Yeah. We could do something with there about. Oh no, I do mine slightly different. Yeah. No, Yeah. The way I currently do it is you can still access that because you go as if you've got 5 resources, 5 schedules, then it will actually give you 5 connections at the same time. So all of the connections can be running separately. Are you just using one connection?
Yes, I have. I using.
Yes.
Yes, I think one connection. Yes, but I changed after the connection. I changed the values. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that way you can
Right.
see the calendars of other users in your company.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Using what's the key called?
I changed this one.
The what? Sorry.
I changed these properties.
No, I understand. Okay, I can make those parameters like the in the URLs. So you've got a self.urls.calendar in the CK task Google class. I can make part of that where it says me. I can make that as a parameter. Default it to me, but then you can override it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Send me an email on that because I will forget, or a message, but just so I don't forget. That's all.
Okay, no problem. I will do.
Okie dokie.
I
Right.
back your screen.
Oh yes. Okie dokie. So
Thank you, Andy.
we are we're about on time. We've gone through the questions, so that's not bad. I think that's a convenient place to finish. So to recap, you will get I'm just trying to think. Yeah, you will get update of the docking pane this week, report control this week, calendar because I just promised Michael this week, and the Bill's not here, but Bill might watch it on catch up. The GSEC is coming along, so he will get a beta out of GSEC at some point this week. So this is some of it in action, as we can see. All these screens are built into the class and are fully customizable. So your login screen is fully customizable, and setting up of your groups is fully customizable. So it's all multilingual, so you can control everything of this. So that will start to go out in beta ASAP. Okay, right. We shall finish on that note. Until next week. Thank you, everybody. Have a good
You
week.
got the wrong picture on there though. It says property grid.
Oh yeah. No, this is me. Well, that's not exactly a nice painting of the of it either. So
Just pulling your leg.
pulling your leg. That's a British term. But yeah, no, that's just a blatant app where I just wanted to control some of the security of what I'm allowed to do and so on and so forth. So I can't do that and I can't do and so on. So yes, just playing about. So it's also not 2014. Okay, until next week. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
I'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.